me tell you about what happened in Georgia, a place called Cartersville. You had about 65, 70 primarily black children, black youth, arrested for less than 1 ounce of marijuana that was found on the outside of the home. Cops come through, they arrest all of them, every single one of them. They take them to jail, process them. Some of them actually got jail time. And guess what? A judge has agreed they were targeted. The prosecutor agreed they were targeted. And now the police, they are paying those young black people about $1 million. I kid you not. Let's put up a picture of one of the individuals. She says she has been traumatized. Her name is Deja Hurd. I'm gonna give you some background to this story. This first happened in 2017. It was a house party in a place called Cartersville, Georgia. It ended up with 70 young people being arrested. The vast majority of them were black. They were known as the Cartersville 70 when that happened. Deja Hurd, the young lady you see right there, she was one of the wrongfully arrested partygoers and the birthday girl that night. She told the local news, WSB-TV, quote, "I literally was in shackles from my arms and they were tied around my ankles as well. It was very traumatic." They shackled these children from top to bottom for less than 1 ounce of marijuana, not found on any person, not found in the home, but found on the outside of the house. Hurd says she'll never forget what happened at her 21st birthday party when she rented out a Cartersville home through Airbnb to celebrate with her friends. A total of 65 young people, mostly black, ended up in this Bartow County jail. Cartersville police illegally entered the home without a warrant. Here's the Cartersville home she rented. Very basic home. It was not a mansion. They just wanted to have a good time. Here are some of the others who were arrested that night. They're connected to the settlement. Prosecutors say the young people were targeted and a judge completely agreed. Now here are some of the details. This actually happened, even though it was to celebrate a birthday, it happened on New Year's Eve in 2017. 70 people, including 5 juveniles, were arrested during a Bartow County house party for allegedly possessing less than 1 ounce of marijuana. Investigators previously said no one claimed the illegal drugs. Now I want to pause on this moment because this right here is a systemic failure. I've seen this happen before. My first semester as a college professor, there was this guy in my classroom, 18 years of age. We were 3 weeks into the semester. He got a letter from financial aid saying that he did not qualify for financial aid. He sent that email to me. I started to do some investigation and I found that if you are convicted of even a minor drug charge, such as marijuana, you would never be able to have financial aid in your future. It doesn't fit, the penalty doesn't fit, right? Well, he was in the car with 3 other people. He was the 4th person. Less than 1 ounce of marijuana was found in the vehicle and the cop decided to charge everybody. Well, that charge stuck to him and he has to continue to live with that penalty now. That's why I advocate to decriminalize marijuana in the United States of America. It does not fit the penalty that people have to endure. Okay, back then police said they barged into the home because a neighbor said they heard gunshots. Yes, so let's illegally enter the home because we're gonna say somebody heard gunshots. 12 days later, the DA dropped the charges. They found them to not be substantiated. Dropped the charges against everybody but one. But by then, their names and mugshots had made national news and their lives had already been turned completely upside down. Put up their pictures again. They are now taking control of the narrative. They knew what happened to them was wrong. They knew what happened to them was a targeted attack against their humanity. They have now been justified by the judge and the prosecutor. Many of those arrested on drug charges filed a federal lawsuit in 2019 claiming that constitutional rights were violated. Those arrested were humiliated when they were forced to undergo strip searches at the jail, the lawsuit stated. Those strip searches were also as young as 17 years of age. Some spent multiple days in jail. Attorney Gerald Griggs, who happens to be a good friend of mine, he spoke on behalf of the Georgia NAACP, said, and I quote, "It's a very large settlement, so it sends a message to Georgia that if you violate somebody's civil rights, the NAACP and civil rights attorneys will hold you to task and protect those young people's rights." Jerry Weber, senior counsel with the Southern Center for Human Rights, said he'd still like to see the city rescind its policy of officers being allowed to enter a home without a warrant if they smell marijuana. But for now, he's pleased with the legal win. The Cartersville city manager has something to say. Cartersville city manager sent a statement to Fox 5 News saying that they made a business decision to settle due to the number of parties involved and that litigation would take years to resolve. It also says the city did not object to the settlement provided the city would not admit to any liability reflected in the statement. Cartersville police sent a one-line statement that basically said, we will continue to honor the Fourth Amendment, which protects people from unreasonable searches. The young people in this case are very astute as it relates to policy. So while they are getting some money, okay, they're gonna split the money. I'm sure the lawyer gets some money in this. They're not gonna get a bankroll, they're gonna get a little money. They actually wanna see the policies change for policing. They wanna take this momentum and transform procedures so that this does not happen in the future. That's how you connect people and policy. You take moments like this and you pivot the conversation to a policy dynamic, because right now, the Cartersville police, they have an issue with culture, not just with what is written. All right, David, thoughts?
Thoughts are, I'm glad that the Cartersville 70 are finally getting at least some measure of justice. I am astounded that the law exists as it does now, that simply by smelling marijuana, or you think you smell marijuana, that gives you the right to barge into somebody's house without a warrant. I mean, out here in Connecticut, we smell skunks all the time. Does that mean police, if they decide they don't like me or they don't like my skin color, they can barge down into my house to try to find some marijuana and then say, oh, well, we found an ounce, so now you got a problem. That's ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is, I'm glad we live in a society in a day and age where crooked cops, tyrants, racists, those are eventually gonna come back to haunt the taxpayers where they work. And it's wise for the taxpayers and for these cities to start weeding out some of these tyrants on the front end so it doesn't cost you on the back.
That's right, and remember, the police gotta pay this money. The police settled. That's defunding the police. It's amazing to me that individuals in the cities who are all anti-defund the police are pro-defunding the police when the police are defunding the police.